Welcome, guys, to another episode of Making Feria. My name is Christopher Medina, and I am an entrepreneur. And today, I got my good friend Diego coming all the way from the IE. Brother, I appreciate you coming out here.
Brother,
How you been, man?
us.
How's everything?
Good. Business is
Doing
well,
good?
always growing.
Appreciate it,
good,
man.
brother.
So, just tell the audience a little bit about your story, your background.
I'm an entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur for about, I want to say 23 years. I'm an investor as well, so it's always been kind of hand in hand. I've always been doing both. Building businesses, buying them. Building them, selling them, owning them. I still own a few. I partner up with other businesses as well, and then I'm always investing. I'm always investing in real estate. So any extra money that I have always goes into real estate. So it's kind of what I do.
Yeah. So your main bread and butter would be considered buying businesses, building them up, and then selling them.
I'd like to say real estate.
Real
estate is my
estate.
wealth. I like to tell people that real estate is where I build my wealth. The businesses that I currently own are basically generate income, for us to do that, to grab the money. We take about 90% of it and always invest it into real estate and then
Okay.
have it, do what it does for us. So
All right. So, real estate, there's so many things you can do in real estate. There's
yeah.
commercial, residential, flipping, wholesaling, syndication, all that stuff. But what's your niche? in
What
real
I
estate?
started again. I've been around the game for a long time, so I started with flips because I come from a poor background. We came
Yeah.
here from Mexico, poor with no money. We were blessed. We got picked up on the streets. We were on the streets, nowhere to stay, and the family picked us up. Picked me, my sister, my mom, and dad up, and gave us a home to stay. And that's kind of like where we got started. So I don't come from a wealthy family or any riches by any means. So with real estate, I was able to start flipping. I started flipping and from one property to another, so I can actually generate more income, have more money to start investing more and more, and then we've been able to scale. And I now do multi-families. I own some land. I own some commercial. So I'm a little bit diverse on everything.
Diverse.
So whatever the opportunity is, if it's there,
Okay.
we grab it. We don't think about it twice.
Awesome, Diego. So, me myself, I've done a couple flips myself. I started back like around 2018, 2019. I did a few flips. I kind of was breaking even, and then the pandemic came. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna put it on a halt, focus on my bread and butter, which is selling hearing aids here in LA. And then we recently just launched El Flipero LLC. It's a flipping company also in Phoenix, Arizona. So I started again last year, finished 2 flips, listed them this December. It's been kind of slow, but for people who are trying to get in, how did you start in the flipping business?
The first deal that I ever got, it was crazy. The family was losing their home, and my father was like, I had built enough money. With him, he helped me build some money together, and I had built enough money just to get started. I bought the property from them. It wasn't even, I had no idea what I was doing, I'll be honest with you. He just said, you have enough money saved up, you're going to put it into a house, and let's go. And so we went and found, had a family that was losing their home. We bought it. It just needed some TLC paint, nothing big.
This was back when?
Wow, man. Now we're going to start talking ages. So let's see. So this was, I want to say, I don't know the exact, I think it was 2000 and, like 2000, 2001,
2001,
2002.
so beginning of, okay.
Yeah, 2001.
Okay.
Yeah. So then I bought that property, and within, I kept asking like, okay, we got the painting done, and then I kept asking the broker that got us the property, like, hey, so what is it worth, and should I hold on to it? Should I get rid of it? Because I bought it in at a good deal.
Yeah.
And so she was already letting me know that, hey, you have some equity in this property already going in. And so at that time I was working 2 jobs. I was a young buck, I'm working 2 jobs trying to make money, and I was just happy to drive a good car, right? A nice car with rims or whatever. At that time, that's all I cared about.
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, you're up to like, I believe at that time, she was like, you're up to like 27,000. And I was like, what? And she's like, yeah, it was only a couple months in. She's like, yeah, you're up to like 27,000. If once all your expenses are paid and everything, and you cash out, you're gonna net about 27,000. Mind you, at that time, I was working 2 jobs, and I was barely making that in a year. So you can tell this is back in the days, because now 27,000 is nothing. But at that time for me, I was like, wait a minute, you mean if I sell this now, I get 27 grand? And then she's like, yeah. I said, I work every day, all day, 2 jobs, and that's what I make in a whole year. And so right away I was like, let's just do it. Let's do it. And we sold it, and that was the rest. The rest is history. But what I tell people now, this is a different game. Always when you're getting started and trying to flip, is find something that needs value, that needs repair. So many people want to look at something and not envision it already looking nice. So I always tell people, if you're going to get started, look at something that needs you to create value. Make sure that it has some kind of TLC needed. Now,
What is TLC?
okay, what I tender love and care, but I would say,
Oh, okay.
you want to make sure that you don't get yourself too caught up in a big project. Okay, so you don't want like a big construction site. No, you want to make sure that you're just going to go in there and paint, flooring.
Roof?
No, you don't want to get involved. If you have a roof problem, like when you're looking into a property, the one thing that you want to do when you're getting started is just focus on these, is making sure that the property needs paint, on interior paint, exterior paint, flooring, cabinets, countertops. That's it. You don't want to get into knocking down walls. If you're a beginner, if you're starting up, you don't ever want to get into something that's going to require you to get permits, because then you're going to end up losing a lot of your profits, because it's going to take time, and the process could cost you money month after
True.
month after month. So you want to make sure that you're getting into something that needs, again, some TLC, paint, the basics, paint, flooring, countertops, cabinets, kitchens, and restrooms. That's it. And then you're already. It's always in the buy. I always tell people right now too, like you're in the market every time. It's always in the buy. Make sure that when you're buying it at a good deal, and the rest you're gonna make money. No matter what, you won't lose. You won't lose, but you have to focus on the buy. It's never on the sale. So many people are focused on doing the numbers ahead of time and looking at the sale price before even looking at the buy. Like, make sure you're purchasing at a good price, because you're gonna go in already buying 20, 30, 40 grand under value. Then you're already coming in good. And all you're doing now is, from that 40 grand you're building, and now you're gonna have maybe 80 grand after you do the flooring, the paint, the cabinets, countertops. So now you just doubled your money, right? And then you're able to flip, or you're able to hold the property, rent it, cash flow on the property. So one thing I would focus on that too is making sure that you look at it in different aspects, not just as a flip. Because if something were to happen and you have to hold on to that property, you have to be able to make sure that you're going to be able to cash flow. Look at the local rents, the current rate, the rates in that area where you're at.
Yeah.
So always kind of be prepared for something to happen. The inevitable. You always got to be prepared.
All right, Diego. So also, have you done any wholesaling?
I don't do wholesaling, but I do purchase from wholesalers. I get deals where there's a deal that they might not necessarily want to get involved in, their companies, and then they'll hit me up, and we do the numbers, and if the numbers make sense, we buy from them. We'll obviously pay them $8,000, $5,000, depending on what the wholesale deal is.
Okay. Yeah, my dad's been doing wholesaling for like 30 years, so I kind of know how it works. But I'm just curious, why didn't you get into wholesaling? Does it take too much of your time?
I think so. I think for the most part, I think the circle and the partnerships that I have, a lot of the properties that I deal with and I get are through the circle of influence, I guess you can say, and the partnerships that I have. So I've been doing it for so long that everyone just kind of calls me and tells me, hey, there's a deal, or there's this deal, and then through that, I'm able to grab a hold of these deals. So it's always like I'm kind of consistently busy, with investing, and I always have the investments at hand. So it's always like just trying to determine what I can take on and what I cannot take on, and also we feed each other. So if you're part of my network, we kind of like feed each other and help each other out. And if there's something that necessarily I can't get involved with, I'll let someone else know, another one of the investors, and then vice versa, and brokers, stuff like that.
Gotcha.
So I've never really gotten into the wholesale game. So I wouldn't be the person to really ask about that.
What advice would you give for new aspiring entrepreneurs in this market to start a new business?
I would tell them not to pay attention to the news. I think a lot of them are paying attention to the news or the wrong person. Always make sure that you're paying attention to who's giving you the advice. Right now, the market's always yours. When you're trying to get started as an entrepreneur or as an investor, doesn't matter what kind of market it is. You can get started. The point is getting started. When I started, I started a tire shop and then became an automotive repair
You started
center.
that when?
In 2008, when the market crashed, I started that, opened in 2009. So when the market crashed for me, I lost everything in real estate. I was fully invested in real estate. So I had my construction company focused on real estate, on my flips. I had the lending, the real estate partnership going on still at that time. I lost homes, I lost cars, I lost everything, and that market was just a bad market for real estate at that moment, right? So
Yeah.
we lost it all. I ended up back at my parents' home with nothing, not even a car, and so I had to I had to start all over again. And I started in that market when everyone was telling me, "Don't, the market's horrible. How can you start a business right now? This is not the time to start a business."
Yeah.
I was like, "I have no other choice. What are you talking about? Like, I'm not gonna go work for someone. This is what I do. I'm an entrepreneur." Like, so I opened a tire shop. I had got some knowledge through my last construction site was at a tire shop for a friend, and so
Yeah.
when we finished that commercial building. I was able to kind of dive in on knowing a little bit about the business, and I asked for some help. He mentored me, showed me a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and then a few months later, I opened my own shop. And so I was again, it's your will, your drive, your why. What is it that you want to do? Right now, the market, like, don't worry about the market. Worry about what you have inside of you, whether or not you can get started. You're always going to be able to get started. The market could be high, it could be low. It's all on your own individual self. So I would tell anyone trying to get started right now to get started now. Don't wait till later. Later may never come. And then
Okay.
I mean a lot of people that are still waiting for that later and never actually take that
Take that
dive in
risk,
to like
right? I
take that
mean,
risk to become an entrepreneur.
yeah. I mean, opening up a business is a super huge risk. I mean, that by definition, an entrepreneur is someone who's willing to, sacrifice their, their capital gains to achieve more, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, just, you got to open up a business, just start if you're thinking of opening a business. Anything else you would like to add to that?
So when you want to get started, when you have it inside of you when you want to become an entrepreneur. When I got started, it's crazy the story that I give people. When I got started, I used to go to street races on the weekends.
Yeah.
I used to work throughout the week, and on the weekends I would go to the street races at night, and I would pass out flyers to people. And you want to fix up your car? I'll fix up your car for you. I know color coordination. I know how to put the wheels, the body kits together. I'll make it happen for you.
Yeah.
And so people would reach out to me. And I would tell them I have all the contacts. I have all the contacts that you need to get everything that you need. Suspension, you name it. I'll deck your car out. And people would call me. I'd have people drop off their vehicles, and then they'd just leave it for me for like a week or two, and it would be basically my job to find the wheels, find the tires, find the suspension, find the body kit, get it painted, and then basically like you remember that show, The Pimp My Ride?
Yeah.
I was exhibit at that time, and
Okay,
so I
all
was
right.
running around doing that, and that's how. That's how I got started. I was working out of my parents' garage. I remember when Fast and the Furious, the first one, first came out. I would tell my dad before it even came out. Some of the buddies had their cars on the movie. In the first movie that came out, and they would pay like $100 a day to have the cars parked there. So we would have the cars parked in the movie for the movie. But I would tell my dad, like, Dad, we need to let's open a shop. Help me open a shop, And he was like, No, you don't know business, son. You need to wait. You don't. It's not what you think it is. And I
Yeah.
already had it in me. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
the point I'm trying to make is, like, if you're an entrepreneur, you want to be an entrepreneur, like, right, that you want to be that. You don't want to work for someone, that you want to work for yourself,
Yeah.
that you have that drive. So if you know that you have that in you, like, just get started. That's really the biggest thing. Is like, it doesn't matter where you're at. You could be in your parents' garage, which is where I started, right? I started
Yeah.
with that one little business that might have just gave me knowledge. It didn't make me rich. It didn't get me anywhere at that time, right? But it gave me the knowledge and the ability to learn how to build relationships with other business owners, because I would run, and that's how I would get the parts and the stuff to
Yeah.
fix these things up, these cars up, is through the relationships. And then
Gotcha.
so it will, once you get started, you'll learn the ability to build relationships and how valuable they are when you're in business for yourself, because that's what's going to help you leverage 100%. It's going to help
Definitely.
you leverage.
Oh yeah, I agree. All right, Diego. So you've opened up, you've done flips, you've opened your tire shop, you've ran multiple businesses. But what are the biggest challenges you've had to face as an entrepreneur?
I think learning the value of money. I think that's one of the biggest challenges that you'll have as an entrepreneur, because you can never have enough. You always need capital to work, and
Yeah.
so I think that's been one of my biggest challenges, is trying to figure that out. Like I told you back in 2008, when I lost everything,
Yeah.
I was rich at that time. I had become rich through the market, and everything going my way, right?
Yeah.
And so all my companies grew right along with the market, but everything, but I had no idea. I had no idea how to build wealth at that time. I didn't know anything about capital and having, capital put away as well to keep working.
Yeah.
I was the money I was making, I was spending in parties and cars and houses and just craziness, right? And that taught me a lot. It taught me basically that I had to learn to leverage money and never run out of it, because capital is important when you're an entrepreneur, because so many people, it's just like athletes, right? You get $1 million contract and then you lose it in a year, because you don't know what to do with it. You've never had that kind of money before. So same thing happens with entrepreneurship. When you become a business owner or even an investor and you start making money, and you were broke like I was back in the days. You've never been taught how to actually leverage that money and how to have it help you,
Yeah.
and not run out of it.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest challenges I think as an entrepreneur that you'll face, and as an investor, in business in general, is learning how to keep getting capital and keeping your dream alive, because it takes finances, it takes money it takes you to learn the value of money to be able to keep going. I think that's what's helped me still be here today and be relentless.
Okay, so did you ever run out of funds at one point? You said obviously in 2008,
2008.
there was a big crash.
Yeah, I run out of funds. It's crazy that people talk about like being broke or not having money. I run out of funds all the time. Every time, it's funny if you look at the accounts. I mean, they're always. I want them to be on zeros, because it's what I know that everything's invested. Right?
Yeah.
I don't run out of money because I'm spending it on the wrong things. I run out of money because I'm investing it all. And I hate having money, and I'm the opposite, I guess, of the average person, right? I don't want to see money in my accounts. I want to make sure that money is working. And that's one of the things that I learned, is that if that money is in the account, it's losing every day. It's
Losing
doing
value.
nothing for me.
Correct.
It's losing value. And today's a living experience about that, right? The eggs are no longer what they used to cost back in the days. The milk is no longer the same price it was 10 years ago. So
inflation.
Imagine I had that money, $100,000 in the bank all this time, thinking it's gonna be there for a rainy day or help me do something. It would have done nothing for me.
The value would have gone
The value
down,
would have
right?
gone down, and people have to understand that if the money's not actually making money for you, then you're just losing every day, and your family is losing, and the legacy that you want to leave behind is losing. Everything is losing.
Yeah. I mean, it's a fraud that they've been teaching us throughout our life, even at a young age. Your family tells you to save money and this and that, but saving your money for long periods of time, that money, what was worth 10 years ago, is not what it's worth now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you got to find ways to invest your money, and I actually found out a hack last year that Amex offers this savings account that pays you like a little bit more than 4% on your money. So I mean, even that's just like good to know.
Yeah.
But yeah, just like me and Diego, I'm the same way. I don't like to have a large amount of money in my account. I try to go flip a house or go invest in this or invest back into the business and let it grow.
I tell people all the time, like, you have to build a foundation. I mean, so many entrepreneurs, even people that have done flips before, or people that have done good investments, right? And then they got something in return, but still don't know where they're headed. So they're like, oh, I want to start a trucking company, or hey, I want to put some money here, put some money over here. And I said, no, you don't want to do that. You want to build a strong foundation first in one business, and then allow that business to start feeding other businesses, whether it's real estate investing, which is, I'm biased. I'm always going to say invested in real estate.
Yeah.
I'm always going to say that. But, a lot of people, I'm on coaching calls with individuals, and they'll tell me that, like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. And I'm like, hey, slow down. You don't want to be the old me. You don't want to be the old Diego. I used to do that. I had money, and all of a sudden I was, I want to be doing this, do that, and I put money everywhere. It was a point where I had a music studio going, a music label. I had I had the barbershops going. I had the construction company going. I had a bunch. I was so spread out. I spread myself so thin before 2008 because I thought I was gonna be rich forever, right? I didn't know the difference between being rich and being wealthy, and so I tell people all the time, like, slow down. You got a hold of some money now. Okay, let's build a strong foundation in one business, and then we'll actually spread that out, accordingly. But don't try to do that right now. You just get a hold of 100 grand or 80 grand and you think you can already start jumping everywhere. Like, no. Focus, build a strong foundation, invest back into that business, like yourself, invest back into your business, build that strong foundation. Then it allows you to leverage yourself and then spread, the money in other places where it's going to grow.
Yeah, once you have that extra capital, then invest into something else. But
Yeah.
Diego's right. You don't want to be jack of all trades, and then you're here and there. Then you lose focus in your main business, and then that starts to go south.
Yeah.
Right? So, what would you say are some keys to your success?
I owe my success to staying consistent.
Yeah.
I always tell people consistency out kills skills. 100%.
Discipline, right?
100%. I think that's what I owe my success to is staying consistent. I show up every day.
Yes.
It doesn't matter if I had the worst day the day before. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what anybody says to me. I've dealt with that all my life. You can't do this, you can't do that, you won't be able to do this. People making fun of me. I grew up, like I said, coming here from Mexico, having, kids make fun of me all my life, getting picked on all my life. So it's something that I guess built me to be relentless and to show up every day. And I have a huge why, right? My whys have always changed throughout my life, but I knew that when we got here, and I knew through my struggles that my parents sacrificed a lot to get us here, and I didn't want them to, I wanted them to be proud of me, but I wanted to give back to them. I think it's super important for you to have a why, and that's what's going to allow you to get up every day on challenging days and keep going. It's your why, For me, it's changed throughout the years. I've been doing business for so long that it's obvious that my why has to change. My first why was obviously trying to help my parents and give back to them. But it's changed, when I had a daughter at a young age. At 17 years old, I had a daughter, and my why was her at that time. It's like I gotta make things happen for her, right? I have a child now that's gonna depend on me.
Yeah.
And then after 2008, the crash, I lost everything. Ended up back at my parents' home, and at that time my why became them. I said, hey, I gotta pay their house off. They're working so hard to pay their home off. Now my why is I gotta make this happen, pay their home off.
Yeah.
And I was able to do that, and I have to retire them. I don't want them to work hard anymore. So I was able to retire them young, and I was able to pay off their home, and those were their biggest worries. So that was my why then. Now my why now is, we have my wife and my sons. My two little ones. I have two little ones that one is 6 and one is 3. My wife. Those are my whys right now. So you always gotta have, I think, your why. Why are you doing what you're doing? Why do you want to be an entrepreneur? Why do you want to be an investor? It has to be more than just money.
Definitely.
Money will never be enough.
Exactly. I totally agree. So for me, it was actually kind of the same as how you started. I had my daughter at 19 years old, and before then, I was like this lost teenager kid. I mean, I was entrepreneurial. I started selling Gatorades when I was in high school, but I never had that extra push. I never had my why until my daughter came. So I feel like, not everybody goes through, I don't know if you would call it trauma or something that gives them their why or like that ambition. But for someone who doesn't have their why, how would you tell them to, or how would they find their why? I know it's a tough question, but everybody has their own why, but I guess it might be tailored to them, right? But what would you tell somebody who wants to find their why?
I go through this through my hiring process. I think I do this for my coaching. I do this for everything that I do in business.
Yeah.
I always ask that question, and people are always like kind of intrigued on it. They'll pause for a minute, and they'll give me the business answer, right? They'll give me like, oh, my why is because I want to excel in life, or I want to do this. Like, no, like seriously, take the time, take a moment right now, and tell me what your why is. Like, can you seriously sit here and think about what you really want and why you really want to start a business, or why you really want to scale your business? Like, what is it that you're trying to really accomplish, and why are you trying to accomplish it? And so then I'll have tears come out. Some of them will say it's my mother, she's not healthy. I'm trying to get my parents. Some of them I've had stories where they're like, I'm trying to bring my parents in from from out of state, and bring them here from another country. So I've had different whys, but there are whys that come out. And
Yeah.
and the thing that I noticed when I ask that question and they come back with it is they take the time to really dig deep and find that answer of what really matters to them, because only they know, right? Only you know when you go home and you lay on that bed what's really your why, and why you're going to get up tomorrow and try again and try again and try again. So it's always I would tell you to dig deep and really consider who you are and what is it that is going to make you unstoppable, because your why is going to make you unstoppable.
What's the craziest thing you've done in business?
I kind of took that question the craziest thing to me, I think, business wise, I think the craziest, let's go with the craziest business I started. Well, I think they're all crazy. I started, it was crazy I'll tell you a couple of them, but I think the music one, was like just crazy, because I got to be around a lot of different artists, people that are big in the industry now, and I think it allowed us to, it was crazy. It allowed us to do a lot of different things. I got a lot of successful people. I think the craziest thing, like we did New Year's Eve events in Arizona, downtown Arizona. We did a New Year's event with other artists. It was huge, and it was a lot of fun, and just I think the music label and the music
But what did
studio.
you do exactly in the music industry? Did you help producers record? Did you have a sound
I was
studio?
out.
Or
Yeah,
what did
you know what? When I opened the music studio, I got artists. I started my own little small label, and then through the networking with people. I have cousins. It's a small world, so I have cousins and family that are involved in the Spanish industry, in the Spanish music industry.
corridos?
Yeah, a little bit of Voces del Rancho. Vicente Fernandez is his godson is family of family, so we're like really we're already kind of connected. So I
Yeah.
already had the relationships there to kind of get involved. But the music I was involved in was more of a hip hop, But unfortunately for us, I was trying to break that barrier where we were kind of, everyone was always trying to put us in like Chicano music, and we're like, no, we're not in this type of industry, and we're not. And so, but the craziest things was that I think I always made it crazy when I had the barbershop. Same thing. I would get a different haircut every week. I'd have like stripes going through my hair. I had like crazy stuff
Different
going on
things,
before
right?
people started doing that.
Okay.
Before anybody was doing that, I was already like, putting zigzags and all kinds
Designs
of
and all
different
that.
designs on my head
Cool.
during that time.
Quick question. So how does a label work? I mean, in the music industry, I don't know. I hear that, oh, this music label or this or that, but what is a label? What is that? Is it like a brand? Or
It's just I think the label it really means nothing. I tell people that even like it's exactly what it is, right? It's just a label. If you're not actually known, or you're not actually creating anything, and it's not making you any revenue, then it's really meaningless. But in the music industry, anyone can start it. It's just like starting your own business, right? You go get it licensed, and there's different companies that will pay you if your music is played on the radio, if your music is played on a TV show, or on different, now obviously you got different social media platforms. So every time something is being played from your music that you created and that you have trademarked, and that it's a copywritten to be yours, you get paid for it. So the one thing that I loved when I started was that you get residuals, and I understood that concept, and I was like, wait a minute. So you mean if I make one good hit song, I can get paid for the rest of my life off of whatever that song does for me, and then I don't have to redo it over and over again. It's just going to keep paying me. And so I understood the concept of residual, which is why I started that. I remember, mind you, I was doing real estate investing at that time and everything, but that's what got me like, oh, let me do this. I want to do that because I can only do it. I only have to do it once, and if one hits, then it's going to pay me forever.
if people play that song like on iTunes or whatever, then all the plays accumulate a certain monetary value that you make.
Correct,
Right?
and then every month you get a check, There's people I have someone that did I don't know if you're old enough, but It Takes Two to Make the Things Go Right. That song.
Yeah.
People I know a co-writer of that song, and he gets checks to the day every month for that particular song, because they still play it. They're still going to play it on
Definitely.
old school jams or different
Those good hit
radio
songs.
stations. Yeah, exactly, or movies. So every time that you have something coming out, that's what kind of got me into that. But that's what the label, owning the label and owning the rights to that label will get you
Gotcha.
paid continuously for the rest of your life.
Okay. But like if I wanted to start a corrido, what would be the first step?
To start your music,
Yeah.
you got to go to, I would,
I
well,
mean, some artists
things
buy
have changed.
songs and they just sing them, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of that. That's how Espinosa Paz started. I remember him before he even got started and before he became his own
Because you
artist.
just tailor the song to whatever your style is, right?
Correct. Correct. So, um, and then this is something that I'm sure. I mean, you can relate. What's it's Pancho Barraza. I'm sure you know who that is. That's
I
something.
saw him last year.
Pancho Barraza is somebody that my cousin managed for a while as well. A lot of these different artists. I'm kind of hard with. I told the guys when I got here, like, oh, remind me your names again, because I'm really bad with names. But
Yeah.
Pancho Barraza, remember him. There's Voces del Rancho. There's obviously everyone knows Vicente Fernandez from back then. But if you would want to start, I would just go to a studio though. Get it recorded with somebody that's actually part of the industry, that like an actual. That's one thing I would tell people. Like don't halfway do it. You know what I mean? Go into a studio that's known,
Yeah, I mean,
and have.
I haven't wrote a song or anything. I'm just saying, like, what would you do to start? Obviously, I would have to either write a song or buy a song and then start
And then
developing it into my style, and then go to a studio,
yeah,
and then go to a label,
and then
and
get
then
it. And then they would actually
we would
listen
do
out
like
to
some
it.
type of contract or something, and then they would run it, right? Okay.
Yeah, it's a whole different game now than what it was back then. Back then, we used to go. You hit the streets and you would like
That's how
hit up the
CDs, right?
the
Oh yeah,
mixtapes and the CDs,
that's true.
and now it's like social media. Social media.
Okay.
I stopped the when the market crashed. That's
Yeah.
when like MySpace crashed. I think I remember at that time too. So I'm gonna tell you, like I tell everybody, get it, just do it. And when I was doing when I opened the studio, I had no idea what the heck I was doing, dude. I got a hold of an engineer, somebody that from a Guitar Center, and this dude told me about this dude, and I said, hey, do you know anybody I went to a Guitar Center. I said, hey, do you know anybody that does like music engineering? Why? I'm trying to do a
A studio.
home music studio, like build one. And they're like seriously build one? I was like, yeah, like full everything. And they linked me up with somebody, and I paid the dude. The dude came through, and I
And
mean
built it out.
everything.
Gotcha.
And then I paid him
All
to do
right.
it. So
All right, Diego. So I wanted to ask you, what are your thoughts on mentorship?
I think it's huge. I think overall, I think my success, I owe that to having always the right mentor and having coaching. I've been coached throughout the way of my success. I think you're going to make mistakes no matter what. As an entrepreneur or as an investor, you're going to make mistakes, but having a mentor there to help you along the way,
Yeah.
it's a million times easier and better. The process is faster. You get to stumble and not have to really sit back and think about that that mistake you just made, because that mentor helps you realize, hey, this is the situation. Let's get you to the next step. And it's super important. I think right now that people have access to mentors or coaches, I would invest. That's part of the investment things that I believe in. Like as an investor, you have to invest in yourself, right, for
Yeah.
personal development. But you also have to invest in a mentor, invest in a coach, someone that's going to be there in the same line of work that you do, right, to coach you. And so if someone was going to get started in real estate investing, again, I'm going to be biased. I'm going to say, hey, hit me up and let's get you started in a coaching program. If someone's trying to open a business, like you want to open a barbershop, I've done that in the past before. So I can help you open a barbershop. I can help you open a construction company. I can help you leverage them. Those are things that a mentor can do and help you do. So if you don't know anything about, that you want to do something, but you've never done it in the past,
Yeah.
a mentor can help you get started. And if you're already started, a mentor can help you level up.
Yeah. Helps you skip a lot of problems throughout the
Yeah, yeah, because
journey, right?
you're gonna look the effort. We're here as a mentor. You get the mentor to inspire you and to guide you along the way, but it's up to you to keep yourself motivated. It's up to you to keep yourself going.
Finding the right mentors sometimes can also get complicated. I mean, you obviously want them to be already successful, done what you're trying to do, have the things that you want. So what's the best way to find a mentor? Like, do you want to well, obviously you want to have a few mentors, not a lot. I usually tell people like get one or two. obviously when you read books, it's kind of like getting mentors. You pick up the gold nuggets, but having like a personal mentor, maybe like one or two, because then the information starts to conflict.
Correct.
But how would you say, what's the best way to find a mentor?
I think the best thing would be like I just said earlier, was basically finding someone that has what you want. You know what I mean? And has started what you want to get started, or what you want to level up. You know, like if you're, I tell people all the time, like go if you get a mentor that's been around the game for 2 years, and then you have the ability to get with the one that's been around for 20 years, that should already automatically tell you go get mentored by the one that has a track record, the one that's been around different markets, the one that's gone through it all. You
Yeah.
know, because he's going to have more knowledge and more information to give you than the one that's only been around for a couple of years. So one of that's I think that's the biggest advice, is making sure that the person that's going to mentor you not only has what you want, because a lot of people could rent a vehicle, right, and flash it on social media or whatever, or a lot of people can do a bunch of things that is not really theirs. But a business, you can't fake. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? In a lifestyle, you can't really fake it. When you'll see that individual, you know,
Yeah.
year after year, and those track records being there.
Definitely. If you're going to get one-on-one coaching, I would go with someone that you can actually meet in person, go hang out with, get to know them. And like you said, confirm their success, confirm their lifestyle, make sure they have a real business, look them up if you have to, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And yes, people who have built real things.
Yeah, 100%. That's you don't want to get a mentor that's just going to be there to inspire you or motivate you in a sense. I want you to make sure that you get a mentor that's going to be able to walk you through the process of what you got going on. Because if you're trying to start a business, you don't need someone just to be there to hold you accountable. You need somebody to be there to guide you and give you the right information that you need to, along the process of building your business or scaling your business. But if you get a mentor that's just going to be there to like rah and be your cheerleader, I'm sorry to tell you, that's not going to get you to the next level, and that's not going to help you succeed in life as an entrepreneur. You have to make sure that that mentor is going to be there to guide you every step of the way. I mean, from the accounting purposes, we talked about money, the capital and the importance of money, to how to level up your business, because you're going to cap out sooner or later. Your business will cap, and you're going to have to be with a mentor that's already been there before and has gone over that cap. We all have those moments, and so you want to make sure that you're with someone that's been around. I say at least 1 decade. I mean, I've been around 2 decades, but let's just be real. Let's make sure that your mentor or your coach has been around for at least 10 years and has already gone through the failures and gone through the challenges of the different markets, because the markets do change consistently about 10 years. So you want to make sure that mentor is relentless as well, and that it's consistent. Consistency is key. You can see people come today and be gone tomorrow. We talk about music. You can see the one-hit wonders, and then you never see them again.
Yeah.
You want to, and guess what? It's not because they made bad music. It's because they weren't consistent. There's another artist that's probably doesn't sing as good as the one that was there for that one good song, but guess what? That other artist is consistently making music all the time. So guess what he does? He beats, or she does. They beat all the other, skillful people because they don't show up.
Exactly. Great. That's good advice. Good advice, man. So I know you're married. How have relationships hurt or helped you in business?
The biggest advice on married people or people in a relationship is communication. I know you guys kind of hear this all the time, but I'm talking about real communication. Like, I used to think when I first got with my wife that, and then everyone else, even before that, right? When I first, that they should just know I'm an entrepreneur. This is what I do. I mean business. I'm busy. I get with you when I get with you. And I used to think that was okay, because I'm like, well, that I own businesses. You know that I'm always running a business. So you should understand that I'm on a 16, 18-hour shift. Like, that's normal.
We work all day, every day.
All day, every day. Like this is normal. So what are you complaining about, right? And I learned through my wife that we were able to scale and leverage 100% better with me communicating with her, and she showed me that by communicating with her, my vision, my dreams, what I have going on, why I do them. gave her a clear vision of my vision and allowed her to be part of it versus
Yeah.
me expecting her to just know because, hey, you should already know, you know.
Okay. And how do you know you have the correct partner for business?
Um, you that's you if your partner is you communicate with your partner like we just talked about and you're letting your partner know your vision and your dreams and your partner is steady like holding you back and letting and not seeing the vision and you've already made it clear multiple times and it doesn't mean that it happens right away, okay guys, so I don't want you to think, oh, she's not seeing it or he's not seeing it, I'm done, we're done. No, I mean, like, you have to be consistent. Again, we talked about consistency, communicating, and that partner needs to be there, like, through the hard times and the good times. There's going to be hard times. In
Yeah.
entrepreneurship and as an investor, you're going to have a hard time. And those hard times come, you want that partner to be there to lift you up. You don't want that partner to be there to bring you down. The world's going to bring you down already. So you want that partner in your life to be there to tell you, hey, I know you and I know what you have inside of you. So don't let this challenge dictate your future or what we got going on
Okay.
because it's for you and your family. And so when she or he needs to know that it's for the both of you and for your legacy and for everything to come.
And make it clear to them, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Make the vision clear,
Yeah.
because as entrepreneurs, we're battling every day, and I'm pretty sure having the right partner is super important because
Huge.
we don't want to go home and then battle our partner either.
You
We're
don't.
going to war every single day, so
Yeah.
finding the right partner is super super critical.
Yeah, and I want to touch bases on faith as well. I know a lot of people, a lot of entrepreneurs or business investors or people don't really talk about faith. I make a point to talk about it because it's what's gotten me through my life. Right, I shouldn't be here where I'm at today. I've had many challenges in my life, even life or death situations, where it's been tough,
Yeah.
and I've God has put me through a lot and has allowed me to get over all those situations. One of them being, a juvenile in juvenile hall. Being hanging out. Talk about hanging out with the wrong people, right? Hanging out with the wrong people got me in juvenile hall, and God allowed me to see the light again, right, on the
Yeah.
other side of the walls. I had an accident in 2003, a motorcycle accident that left me without being able to walk for 6 months. I was an adult already at that time.
Yeah.
With someone bathing me. You know how humbling that is. For someone to be bathing you, and you're like, dude, I used to wash myself. I shower myself.
Yeah.
But God pushed you through these challenges, and one thing I like to always make a point of is that as long as you show up, God will give you the results. So I'm a man of faith and I believe that. Like, as long as I'm consistent and no matter what I'm going through and no matter how bad the days are,
Yeah.
he is going to make sure that my results are going to be, great.
Yeah.
As long as I show up.
Okay. And how do you choose your circle? How big is your circle?
The circle that throughout the years, they get smaller and smaller. I remember being in high school and being the popular kid. Had the biggest challenges, but I was, a popular kid, and I had, I was 70 deep, right? People,
Damn, it's not
everywhere.
fast, man.
I had a lot. I had a lot. I counted them once,
Okay.
and we had about like 70, people deep, and I would think, oh, these are all my friends, but life changes and priorities change, and you realize who really is your friends. And even as an adult and in business, you'll realize. And so in business, my circle is small because I'm a person that I don't like. I've been burned a lot. I think you'll experience that too as an entrepreneur or an investor. There's gonna be people that are just unethical, and that's just life. And that doesn't have to dictate who you are. And so I am a person of faith, and I'm a person that I'll let you burn me once, but not twice. I'll make sure that I take care of business and I'll take care of you, no matter how the fallout happens. But after that, we'll never do business again together, right? And so but that I never let that dictate who I am. My parents always taught me like, hey, God will take care of it. God will take care of it. Because I grew up very angry, right, because of the challenges of my life. And they would always tell me like, God will take care of it. Don't worry about it. Move on. That God will take care of it. So I put that to testament in my business, right?
Yeah.
Someone comes in and does me wrong doesn't mean I'm going to turn around and become that person. I'm not going to become unethical. I'm not going to
Yeah.
become an individual that's going to turn around and do wrong by you just because you're going to do wrong by me. No, I'm
Yeah.
just continue being who you are and continue being, as an individual and as a business owner. It shouldn't change who you are as an individual now that you own a business or now that you have investments.
Yeah.
Continue to be who you are no matter who those people are to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my
Definitely.
circle is small because of that reason too as well, because I want to make sure that we're all vested in each other and that we all have the same the same path when it comes to everything that we do.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. No, definitely. That you got to keep your circle small, do good business with the people that you work with, and hopefully they do good business with you. But if they don't, even for me, like once you do something that I didn't like or you didn't do good business, you didn't provide a good service or a product, then I'm just not going to do business with you, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
can't be one-sided. So Diego, you've opened up multiple businesses, the entrepreneurship journey, obviously, it just goes up and down, up and down, up and down. So what advice would you give to an entrepreneur who, hasn't had a good time with his business and just struggling, that's ready to throw in the towel?
If I could be blunt, I would tell them to toughen up.
Yeah.
Toughen up, because at the end of the day, it's on you. We're quick to want to blame others, for our success or for our stumbles, and it's not really on anyone else but yourself. So I would tell you to keep going, because at the end of the day, the reason I'm successful today and the reason I'm here with you guys today is because I didn't stop. I didn't quit. I've had a bunch of reasons to throw in the towel, a bunch.
Yeah.
Every single year of for the last 2 decades, I've had reasons to throw in the towel, and I didn't, because you have to find the reason why you got started in the first place. Because when those moments come, and they will come, those challenges will come, and you're gonna have that towel ready, because the world's gonna see you getting knocked down, and your coach is gonna be there probably trying to throw the towel in for you. Don't let anyone do that, and don't do that to yourself. Keep going. Make sure that you understand that it's up to you. It's up to you to make sure that your legacy moves on and continues to grow. No one else.
Excellent, excellent. For someone who's starting a business, like for me, I always tell people, you got to get your product, you got to get your marketing right, and your sales right. I mean, I think those are the super most critical things to focus on starting a business, because, without your product, what are you going to sell, right?
Yeah.
Your marketing, that's getting your clients, and then sales is closing them to get that revenue and to keep building. But what would you add to that for someone who's starting a business?
I think you kind of hit it on the point. You could open up the doors and have no one coming in. So I think before you open up the doors to any business, you have to network and get it out there. So now we have social media, so you have no reason not to start letting people know ahead of time. Now you're ahead of the game. Like back then, we didn't have this. We had to go out there and put flyers on cars, and you can still do that now.
Yeah.
For those that are older, obviously. But now that you have social media and the different platforms that you can actually put your business out there, I would tell you to do that now. Don't wait until you open the doors. Like, do it now,
Yeah.
and that way people are aware of your business and what you got going on. And don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed of what you got going on, because there's people out there that are interested in what you got going on all the time. So it doesn't everything doesn't have to you don't have to tailor the world. Tailor to your own niche or whatever it is that you're trying to do in business, and just feed it through marketing and sales. Of course, I mean you can't own a business if you don't have revenue and you're not netting a profit. So that's the reality of it, guys. You can't call yourself an entrepreneur and not be netting profits. I mean, sales are huge.
Sales.
Without sales, I tell my team all the time, is without sales we're nothing. So we have to have revenue come in order to make sure that we're changing lives, and your life's only going to be changed through those sales and through revenue. So make sure that you focus. I would say that's like the number one thing that you really have to focus on is marketing and making sure that sales are coming in. So those two things.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
All right, Diego. So tell us a little bit of what you got going on right now. I know you got your Ignite shirt. So what is that about?
Yeah, well, we got Ignite is my investment company. This is how obviously I started investing in real estate, and now what we're doing with it is I purposely named it Ignite with a Y on it because I wanted to make sure that it was helps everyone feed into their why. You know, why is it that they're part of our team? Because it goes even down to my companies that I own. It's their why, right? And to the coaching that I do right now with Ignite, we're coaching other entrepreneurs, beginners, people that have already been around for a while, and different figures, right? From anywhere from startups to seven-figure business owners and investors as well. So Ignite has allowed me to really expand to that market and helping people, mentor them, coach them, and guide them every step of the way. So I'm doing programs that allows them to be with me for the whole year, once a week, and allows me to keep them going. If they have questions, they have access to my team. They have access to my personal assistant and so forth. And so that way they're not actually dealing with challenges on their own or saying, hey, you know, Diego's only available such and such time. Like, no, I have a whole team behind me helping them. And because I never had that, you know, full time when I was starting on my entrepreneurship journey. Because it's a journey, right? We can agree to that. It's not something that comes and goes. So Ignite allows them to tap into me and my decades of being in business and
More mentorship.
Yeah,
Because you said investment company. What's the investment?
Oh, the investment company, investing in yourself.
In yourself.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Yeah, and a mentor that's going to actually be able to guide you every step of the way. Because whether you're starting up in a business, starting a new business, or you've already been in business for a while, and you're capped out, or you're dealing with challenges that I've dealt with in the past, I'm going to be able to help you get through that. And that's what Ignite is doing right now. That's one of the new things that we're doing.
Okay.
Through Ignite.
Cool. What else are you doing through Ignite?
Man, I think overall right now this year for us is trying to help everyone not only like in the coaching program but in our companies scale financially, personally, and spiritually. So right now the biggest thing for me this year was I want to make sure that I give back. You know, the top is lonely. A lot of people don't talk about it, but the top is lonely, and it doesn't feel the same when you're wealthy, right? You're doing well, and money's coming in every day, whether you're doing anything, and while you sleep. And so it's a way to give back and allow others to grow with you. And so I want my team to do that as well. Everyone that's involved in my life in general and part of my wealth should be growing with me. And again, whether spiritually, financially, or personally, I want to be able to help.
All right, Diego. Well, I appreciate you coming out, man. You gave us a lot of value, and if you guys have any questions, post them down. I'll make sure they get to him. And again, thank you, brother.
Oh.
Appreciate you coming out. And where can the people find you? Any websites, social media platforms, any information you want to give?
I'm on all the platforms, and at the one Diego Alba, and that's spelled out, so it's at the one Diego Alba. Just look out for me, and yeah, I mean we're there for you guys. Anything you guys need. Platforms: I'm YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram. What am I missing?
YouTube.
LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn as well for a lot of business owners out there. So yeah, I'm on Instagram as well. So all the platforms, you'll find me. If you look for me, you'll find me.
Yeah. We'll post it somewhere here. We'll tag them or something. You'll find it. So
yeah.
All right, guys. I hope you guys got some value. Thank you for watching another episode of Making Feria. We'll catch you guys on the next one.